there, I'm Danny Flexen. Welcome to the latest edition of SecondsOut ReFLEXions. Here every Monday, 4:30 PM, to talk about the boxing action of the weekend just gone. Now, as my colleague John Houston has done a review of the first edition of Fight Camp, particularly focusing on the main event, which saw Lee Wood upset the odds to beat Zhu Can and win the WBA regular featherweight title, I'm going to be focusing a bit more about the overall presentation of Fight Camp. So I wasn't there, watched it at home. We're actually going to be in week 3, I believe, of Fight Camp, live on site. It won't be me. I don't work weekends particularly. Well, I do from home, but don't go to shows because I look after my son at weekends. So I watched it all on TV on Saturday night. And yeah, just going to piece together a few thoughts from watching it at home. So overall, I thought the presentation was very good. A promising start. I thought Laura Woods was excellent in her role as kind of co-presenter, I suppose you would say. Her chemistry with Eddie Hearn was good. She seemed knowledgeable about the product. She didn't overstep. She didn't try and kind of bluff where she didn't have the knowledge, where there were gaps. And just a consummate professional. Shouldn't be a major surprise how well she's worked and how long she's worked on other sports, but she seems to have adapted to the sometimes tricky world of boxing very well so far. On the commentary side, I thought Chris Lloyd did a fantastic job. Very professional, gave accessible as well, so gave viewers an insight into what was going on in the ring without requiring any kind of extensive boxing knowledge on their part, which will be vital in kind of educating and attracting the more casual audience that DAZN will need if it's going to be successful with its boxing output. And we already know his partnership with Darren Barker is very engaging. But I thought even later on, working with Andy Lee as well, I thought he was very good. Andy Lee's always good pundit, maybe a bit understated. I've said this before. Not the most kind of ostensibly passionate. I mean, he is a passionate guy, but that doesn't always come across. He's got quite a low-key delivery, but insightful, intelligent, been there and done it, and knows how to convey his knowledge to the audience, which is obviously incredibly important. If there's one knock against Andy Lee, he did seem to be very pro Tommy McCarthy in the latter's fight with Chris Billam-Smith. Perhaps to be expected, as they are both from Ireland, but still, I thought that was quite noticeable while the commentary was while the show was unfolding. But again, I thought he did a very, very good job. The thing that struck me as well is that Mike Costello obviously wasn't working over the weekend because, well, he was, but not on the DAZN show because he's out doing the Olympic coverage of the amateur boxing. And he will come in after this to be the lead commentator. And I did kind of think, and I mean no disrespect to Mike Costello in saying this, but is he completely necessary? And it's a strange thing to say because when he was signed by DAZN, it was universally lauded among the hardcore fans, of which, of course, I am one. And I did think then, this is a great signing. You know, he's been brilliant on the radio for so long. He'll bring a real gravitas, real depth to the programme. But then I listened to Chris Lloyd and how well he worked with two different co-commentators in Barker and Lee, and just was seamless. And he's young. He's got a big social media following. He does other stuff for Matchroom as well, obviously on the weigh-in days and the press conference days with Barker. And I just think if I'm not saying he's as good a lead commentator as Mike Costello by any means, but if he's on the track to get there and he's younger, he's got a bigger following, which is seemingly the kind of market DAZN are going for, that kind of young, more edgy, more current audience, how necessary then is Mike Costello? Is he the kind of glue that holds it all together? Is he the kind of old head when all around him are younger and less experienced, perhaps? But also the fact that maybe he's the carrot to the hardcore fans to make sure they don't desert the product. I'm not sure, but I did feel that out of everyone there who all had their roles to play, and we'll talk about some of the others in a minute, I felt like Costello wasn't notable by his absence, if that makes sense. He wasn't missed, and that, speaks very well of Chris Lloyd, for one thing. Now, there were obviously the segments with the presenter, Maya Jama, and Tony Bellew. Bellew was okay. You know, if you liked him on Sky, you will like him on DAZN. No real difference in that. His delivery's good. You know, he knows his stuff. He's been there, done it. Passionate guy. You know, can get very excited at times. You know, he's filling that kind of Johnny Nelson role, if you like, that Nelson played for so long with Sky. So yeah, he did a fine job. Maya Jama wasn't overly impressed, but then my expectations were quite low, so I wasn't kind of disappointed. She didn't seem to know the product particularly well, but as we know, that's not why she was hired. She's there for her presenting skills and also that crossover appeal that she has. I think a lot of times her delivery seemed quite forced. I don't know if she was reading off an auto cue or cards, or if it was just from memory, but did seem a bit forced at times, and like she wasn't entirely comfortable with the subject matter. That perhaps will come in time though, and I don't want to judge her too harshly. I'm sure there were people tuning in to Boxing on DAZN who might otherwise have not, simply because she was the presenter. And I think that's kind of a big part of why she was hired, and is as important, if not more so, than having that knowledge. She's not, you know, supposed to be an expert pundit or commentator. She's the presenter, and she kind of does a job of linking it all together. I think there's room for improvement, but it was by no means car crash TV. So well done to her. And then the action on the night itself, I thought it was really good. Considering it's still $1.99 a month, that will change, of course, after Fight Camp, after those 3 shows are done, we believe. The action itself was really good. I thought Jack Cullen, Anthony Yildirim was a really good fight to watch. Enjoyed that. Lee Woods, you can in the main event. Very exciting fight. Not the most competitive. I thought Lee Wood was in control for the vast majority of it, but still good to watch. Sandy Ryan and Campbell Hatton did their bit, kind of thing, on the undercard. Anthony Fowler's fight with Rico Mueller surpassed expectations. I thought Fowler would probably blow him away early because Mueller had fought predominantly at 147 pounds and not that long ago at 140. But Fowler, as Shane McGuigan told me this morning, and you'll be able to see that soon, Fowler started off a bit flat, but then warmed his way into the contest. He will need to improve if he is to beat Billam-Smith when they meet in October. So that remains to be seen. But that was a good fight to watch. Chris Billam-Smith against Tommy McCarthy was overrated by the commentators, but that's kind of their job, or part of their job, to hype up what you're seeing in the ring. It wasn't a superb fight or fight of the year. It was engrossing, and it was grueling. But I think there was some of the technical skills of both men was mitigated by the fact that they were started at a very high pace, tired early on, and then it was just a bit of a war of attrition. But that has its own merits as well. So yeah, overall, the action was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I think some of the best fights are probably on next week's show as well. So it could just go from strength to strength. So yeah, overall, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Solid start for the DAZN UK and Matchroom UK partnership, or the expanded partnership of what was already there. But I want to know what you guys think. What did you make of the whole presentation? If you watched it at home, I imagine most of you did, because there were only 250 tickets, I think, for Fight Camp. And what did you make of the in-ring action as well? Did you enjoy it? If it goes up in price, DAZN, to say $9.99 a month, will you continue to pay for it if you're paying $1.99 currently? And if not, what will be the things that could change to make you make that purchasing decision? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll respond to some of them. I'll be back on Thursday for FlexPectations at 4:30 p.m, where I will look ahead to week 2 of Fight Camp, of course. And following Monday, same time, the next ReFLEXions, where I'll look back on Fight Camp week 2. Really appreciate the time, as always, and I'll see you all soon.